Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the show. Thank you for today. We're still gonna be remembering our one-time ADF SDF chairman John Fru Ndi and his legacy, and we're gonna talk about. We're gonna bring some of his excerpts and discuss on this radio, ideal radio, and discuss some of his achievement within the SDF. What legacy is SDF chairman John Fru Ndi had on the SDF and the Southern Cameroonians? What has the chairman John Fru Ndi left behind when he was the opposition leader, the main opposition leader within the Cameroon government? And what did he bring to the table when it comes to the Ambazonian struggle, the Southern Cameroon struggle? And we have seen along the years how tribute has been poured on the chairman for his activism, his powerful work within the rank of SDF. John Fru Ndi has been mourned across the world, and we hope that someone who championed democracy and is a catalyst for multi-party politics in Cameroon. We have seen he had more commitment with peace than justice, and we are saying that he was one of the stalwart of democracy and multi-party politics. John Fru Ndi, his death marks the end of an era that saw him emerge as a key figure in the rebirth of multi-party politics. And today we see throughout his political career, he remained and a powerful figure within their ranks, and we see him as someone who was committed for democracy. But we know SDF was more of based more of federalist, the federal system, going back to federal system. So today I'm gonna play some of his excerpt so that you can see Fru Ndi as a committed leader who was dedicated more of, committed to having more of federal system within Cameroon. Okay, a lot more about Fru Ndi will be discussed as we hear from some important figures about his dedication to the democracy within the ranks of the Cameroon. John Fru Ndi is remembered today for his work on democracy, but most Ambazonians and Southern Cameroonians still see him as someone who failed in the ranks of helping to foster that idea of sovereignty within the state. And when you talk of federalism, that's what we can bring Fru Ndi in. Okay. So let's take a listen to Comrade Chris Arnold.
Late yesterday, we learned of the passing of SDF chairman John Fru Ndi. The official statement from the party states that Chairman Fru Ndi died at 11:30 p.m. in La République du Cameroon's capital Yaoundé, where he had taken up refuge since the escalation of the war in our territory. But I happen to be one of those, I can say, knew a little bit as a reporter of Chairman John Fru Ndi and the beginning of it all, and I mean the launching of the SDF party in 1990. I was at Interrecon, and then the Commercial Avenue, Liberty Square precisely, where the SDF was launched. We braced the water cannons, the tear gas, and the bullets that the Cameroon security had unleashed on the population just to stop Fru Ndi. It was meant to make him look like or reduce him to a coward. That is, if the intimidation would stop him from launching the political party. But Chairman John Fru Ndi refused to be reduced to a coward. The courage and defiance demonstrated that day, until then, had never been imagined nor seen in the whole political landscape of the country. For that feat and bravery, he became the go-to political figure in the country. He was called the Liberator. He became the indefatigable hope of the masses and hope for the future. Power to the people, the political slogan and logo of the movement he formed, drove everybody, home and abroad, to unite under his umbrella, hoping that power indeed will finally rest in the hands and wishes of the people. Though at the time of his death yesterday, power still resides in the hands of the tyrants, in the hands of a privileged few, including he himself, Chairman John Fru Ndi. We cannot just so easily fail to acknowledge the changes brought about by his single act of bravery in 1990. Despite his abysmal leadership and failure in the party, we cannot just so soon, ladies and gentlemen, forget that he pioneered the way for the freedom of assembly and expression, at least the limited one that we had then. The moment doesn't allow me to get into what the legacy of Chairman John Fru Ndi will be. But I shall be back tomorrow in the live show to give you my take on the man whom I wrote about, John Fru Ndi. Again, that will be tomorrow. Please stay tuned. On behalf of the interim government, we salute and ask the family of Chairman John Fru Ndi to accept our
good morning.
Sympathies.
Yes, our condolences to you, because John Fru Ndi was not only a chairman but an uncle. How did the family receive this shocking news?
Yes, you see, today I'm not going to work, and I've dedicated this day to mourn him, and we will be concerting and make sure that we give him a befitting burial as family members, close relatives, and the immediate friends. And personally, people always say John Fru Ndi is my uncle. Yes, from his age, he could be my uncle, but John Fru Ndi is my cousin.
Okay.
From the family tree perspective, he is my cousin, and I grew up knowing John Fru Ndi as a young boy when I was still at CPC Bali, and that was when I graduated from 5. You remember when the SDF was launched on the 6th of May, and there was a lot of turbulence in Bamenda. And when we came back for holidays, one of the things that we're doing was that we're roaming the streets. And we were picked up, not really knowing what politics was at the time, but we got, as young people, got excited and went very close. And I spent most of my time with him in Tarikon and roaming around him, Dr. Siga Asanga, Abde Mukong, Nyok Wakai, and all those people, those SDF barons at the time. And at the age of about 18, I started getting political consciousness, understanding what it was all about. And knowing the chairman Fru Ndi from my childhood, let me put it that way, or my boyhood, he has always been this person that listens and asks you very tricky questions when you never understand the meaning of those questions until you give him a response and he corrects you. So the chairman, Nijon Fru Ndi, as a grown-up person, and when I was at the University of Yaoundé, I had already gained some political maturity and consciousness. And when we were revolting as students against the malpractices in the university, they wanted to tie us that the SDF had infiltrated the campuses of University of Yaoundé 1. That was in 1996. At the time, late Dr. Siga Asanga, who is actually my uncle, was still alive. This is that's the nuance. Late Dr. Siga Asanga is actually my uncle, and the chairman Nijon Fru Ndi is a senior cousin. That's the nuances. Now, when I came to Europe, and under the conditions where we left Cameroon, Fru Ndi was one of the person who told me that, Paddy, you see, you have a lot of energy in you, and if you stay in this country and take the offers that they are giving you, they will kill you. But I will stay here and continue to fight for you people. Because at the time, they were opting that I should go. There were about 6 of us who were dismissed from the university. And the negotiations were that after dismissing us, I should go and join the army. Patrice Kennedy should go and become a teacher. Panga Ungene should go to, how do they call this, a stick or some polytechnic, and so on. So but Fru Ndi told us that you people are young, energetic people with a lot of courage and a lot of intelligence. It's better for you to leave. We have lived our life and we'll stay here and fight, and someday you come and pick up the fight. That's what I learned from Chairman Fru Ndi. And in 2005, when I came back to Cameroon after 9 years of exile, he advised me that, please, Paddy, make sure that you never take any foreign nationality, because those people will use it to chastise you. They will use it against you. And each time I came, I was the only person, apart from his biological children, who would go into his room very early in the morning to say, Daddy, how are you doing? This is the person who the chairman Fru Ndi is. And remember, lately, I don't know, and that's why I have tears in my eyes. I brought my children, and he received them, and the chairman is no more. That was the first time I was bringing up them together, and the chairman said, no, you can go and do your politics. I am sick. Let them stay around me. This is the person that I know, the umbrella, the father, the mentor. And today he's no more. But it's okay. We are going to keep the flame burning. I remember when the chairman sent me to go and see the cardinal when I came from Europe, when we were talking about the Anglophone General Conference. He gave me specific instruction and told me, Paddy, when you go and see your man, the cardinal, please do this. Tell him that the SDF is behind the Anglophone General Conference. That's why you saw me on that picture, on that frame with the cardinal. And today, I'm a shattered person. I hate to cry on camera, but I can't hold my tears. The chairman is gone, but we will keep the flame burning. Thank you, Mr. Leo, for having me. I don't have much to say right now. I have to come back to myself so that we sit down and plan and make sure that we take the chairman where he wants to be buried. Despite all odds, we are not going to waver. We are going to bring him to make sure that he lies where he wants to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Paddy, and very touching Touching her delivery there, we know how dear the chairman was to you and the entire family and to Cameroonians, and we just hope that God grants you the grace to overcome this. I know how close you were with the Cardinal when he died. He touched you, and today Fru Ndi is no more. You are also left like an orphan because two of them were your mentors. They are no longer there, but they gave you all the knowledge. They inspired you and left you with the blessings to be able to hold the flame and move on, especially.
That was about Nijon Fru Ndi. We are still remembering his work, his democratic work within the ranks of his leadership within the SDF that evolved from a regional party to a national force. But beyond his political endeavors, we know Fru Ndi was admired by more. But we hope that we'll keep remembering the chairman for his work within the struggle.
Let me send a clearer warning across that the children who are fighting in the bushes now to restore the Anglophone culture never tested what some of us tested, and they're fighting at this speed. And the government is not able to sit down to say, look, let us look at this problem and resolve it once and for all. It seems as somebody who has a boil on the foot. You take a paste to cover that boil to pretend that the boil is not there. You'll eat deeper, and one day your food will go gangrene and they'll amputate it for you. Can we sit down as a people when we say one and indivisible? Can you use that indivisibility to be honest to yourself, to give people equal opportunities? To ask me whether I feared. Okay. Take note that I launched the party here in 1990 when they had sent over 2,000 well-armed troops to the northwest here under the great killer for Chivedan to stop me from launching the party. The Prime Minister will come, the governors will come and tell you that they'll report to hierarchy. We'll report to hierarchy. We've heard this over and over. Has hierarchy ever solved those problems? And the hierarchy, the mean is Mr. Biya. And when I watched Mr. Biya at the receptions in Yaoundé, he was being indicated to wave the people. And when he waved the people, he turned himself round and round. You look at, I see your eyes twisting as if you'll edit this place. If you edit this place, you'll be in trouble with me. As president, he should know. And all the documentation we have prove that he knows everything about the Anglophone problem. And that he was Secretary General of the Presidency, where later Hijo, may he rest in peace, put him in charge of the Anglophone problems. And they sat down, and there are documents to show that he knows the Anglophone problem more than any other person can tell him. Now, if he cannot resolve or at least make an effort or make a statement towards this, who should make the statement?
That was Fru Ndi speaking. You have seen his work. We have seen everything about him.
If you know them, you better let me know. Well, maybe you know them, you better let me know, because as I keep telling some of you that you are investigative journalists and you sometimes have more information than we do have. So if you know of other things that were hidden in the background, you let me know. Because today, for instance, you see some of your colleagues, they come out very vocally, very strongly. Fru Ndi is whining and dining with beard, giving him 5 billion, giving 1.5 billion, giving him this and that. And here I am still sitting here, the wretched man that I used to be.
Those things were said concerning your victory in 1992, that Mr. Fru Ndi was bought over. He was paid to let go his victory?
By who and for how much? And where's the money? I don't have a foreign account. People try to blackmail me, publish accounts that never belonged to me. And I stand corrected to challenge any Cameroonian who knows that Fru Ndi has this account in this bank. I know there's nothing that a Cameroonian cannot do. Let them go and put some monies in an account and say this account belongs to Fru Ndi. I say bring the money and give it to the people.
You let go your victory and till today?
Sir, I was never bribed. And I don't accept bribes. And by bribe, I mean that somebody is telling that take this amount and you do this, or take this and you do this. I've never entered those type of negotiations with other people, with any other person, or anybody at all.
Mr. Chairman, how was the journey of your political party been from 1992 right up to the last presidential election, in which for the first time in the history of the party, a candidate of the party, Honorable Osi Joshua, came third?
Well, to tell me to retrace my journey, it's been a rough one. It's been a hard one. It's been tedious. It's been strenuous. It's been very exacting and demanding. And as I told you, whenever they announced presidential elections, most of you, especially in the field of journalism, are living witnesses. When I say journalists, because you were failing to find out information where. I will start from Crusader in the north, having rallies coming down. Sometimes by midnight, I'm still at a rally ground. And when you come and meet the people waiting for you and they're there playing their drums, dancing, being happy, you have to talk to them. You will not fear that when I go up there, they can shoot me. And I thank God for the protection. I thank Cameroonians for their love and protection. I want to thank nearly everybody who participated and contributed one way or the other towards my success in politics for this number of years. Well, if my first vice, who doubled as the presidential candidate, never did well, it is normal in every organization that will take time for people to study your approach, maybe take to it or take their own, and they win. Somewhere along the line, I believe that I'd given Cameroonians too much confidence. And the people will tell you that we know Fru Ndi, we've seen him, he's been here to talk to us. And he himself just coming in could not tour up to 1/5 of the tours that I made. So I think this got the people disappointed and they were withdrawn. And then the finances too were not there. The finances were not there. So there's so much.
Nijan Fru Ndi, chairman of the Social Democratic Front Party, speaking on the program The Inside on Equinox Television. And may his gentle soul rest in peace. That's where we'll put a cap to today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Que vous aurez adressé à l'endroit de la mémoire de Nijan Fru Ndi, qui nous a quittés il y a de cela quelques jours.
Oui, merci beaucoup de me donner l'occasion de m'exprimer là-dessus, parce que je l'aurais demandé de toute façon. C'était un moment de grande tristesse. C'est un choc d'abord, et puis c'est un moment de grande tristesse. Comme j'ai pu l'exprimer sur ma page Facebook, les vrais guerriers, les appelle les guerriers de la lumière, les vrais guerriers sont rares dans notre pays. Des guerriers constants, des guerriers humbles sont rares dans notre pays, et de voir qu'un d'entre eux est un déchirement. Je me souviens que Ni John, comme je l'appelais, était venu nous voir au tribunal militaire en 2019, alors que le procès devait commencer, l'instruction se terminait, et cette présence pour moi signifiait énormément, parce que je crois ne pas avoir vu d'autres leaders de l'opposition venir manifester de manière leur solidarité par rapport à notre cause. Ils manifestaient ainsi que il s'agissait d'une cause, la cause de la démocratie, la cause de l'ouverture au dialogue au sein entre les partis politiques dans notre pays, la cause de la restauration de la liberté d'expression dans notre pays et de l'expression plurielle. Et ça, c'était un message fort. Donc oui, de voir partir un guerrier comme ça, c'est un crève-cœur. Mais comme on dit dans ma langue, il est écrit « Homme, tu mourras ». Alors, il faut dire au revoir, même quand ça fait mal. Rest in peace, Ni John.
Parmi des questions qui vous concernent un peu plus, parler de votre candidature à la présidence nationale du MRC. Déjà, comment est-ce que cette candidature à la présidence donc nationale du MRC, comment est-ce que votre candidature a été accueillie par vos camarades de parti? Et depuis cette annonce, comment est-ce que les choses se passent dans votre parti politique?
Alors, comment elle a été accueillie? Je dirais avec grande surprise. Et j'ai le sentiment que beaucoup de personnes ne sont pas encore revenues de leur surprise. J'entendais encore avant-hier la question. Alors, c'est vrai, est-ce que vous maintenez votre candidature? Une candidature que j'ai annoncée le 5 juin 2022. Donc, vous voyez, plus d'un an après, la question demeure tellement c'est inhabituel. Mais elle a été accueillie avec enthousiasme par beaucoup de militants. Vraiment beaucoup. Et par beaucoup de Camerounais. Parce que, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, nous avons soif d'ouverture, de dialogue, de pluralité. Nous avons soif de voir s'exprimer les différentes opinions. Nous avons soif d'options. Et je crois que c'est vrai pour l'ensemble des enfants de ma terre. Nous avons soif d'avoir le choix. Et le fait de voir quelqu'un présenter sérieusement sa candidature pour assurer la conduite des affaires d'une formation politique, eh bien, c'est dire à l'ensemble des Camerounais que l'on peut être en concurrence, que l'on peut être ambitieux, que l'on peut proposer autre chose que le statu quo. Donc la plupart des personnes ont manifesté leur enthousiasme par rapport à ça. Je me souviens qu'un de mes collaborateurs m'avait dit qu'il était avec des amis, pas du tout militants du MRC, le soir de mon annonce, un groupe, et que tout le monde s'est levé et a applaudi. Vous savez, comme si le Cameroun venait de marquer un but à la Coupe du Monde. Ça, pour moi, c'est l'essentiel du message. Et voilà, c'est l'essentiel du message. C'est une adhésion à quelque chose, à un courant.
Mais on n'a pas l'impression, sur les réseaux sociaux, à travers les différents commentaires qui sont faits, qu'il y ait des personnes qui soient favorables à cette candidature.
Complètement. Et je crois que c'est encore là le reflet de ce qu'il y a de l'expression plurielle. Vous savez, dans un pays, il y a 3 types de personnes. Il y a les conservateurs, il y a les réformateurs et il y a les révolutionnaires. C'est comme ça. On doit l'accepter et c'est même sain de l'accepter. Moi, je ne demande pas une adhésion inconditionnelle à ce que je propose. Ce que je demande, c'est la création des conditions d'un débat et la possibilité d'offrir à la base militante un choix. On va revenir à la raison pour laquelle je crois qu'il est urgent qu'il ait des options. Mais oui, il y a des personnes qui expriment, et parfois d'une manière pas toujours élégante, n'est-ce pas, leur rejet de cette proposition. Il faut respecter le fait qu'elles expriment un rejet, même si on ne respecte pas la manière dont elles expriment.
Voilà. Vous avez donc fait l'objet de certaines attaques également après votre sortie récente sur l'exclusion de Maître Tamfou Richard du directoire du parti national du MRC. Votre sortie a suscité beaucoup d'indignation, notamment au sein de quelques-uns de vos camarades de parti. Aujourd'hui, on parle même de vous traduire au conseil de discipline du parti. Comment est-ce que vous appréciez cela? Est-ce que vous êtes mal comprise ou alors vous êtes victime d'une certaine cabale?
J'aurais du mal à considérer que je suis mal comprise parce que je fais quand même des efforts énormes à l'intérieur ou à l'extérieur de ma formation politique pour rappeler ce qui a été. Le texte que l'on me reproche d'avoir publié dit ceci. Nous, on ne nous fait pas taire. Nous construisons avec les amoureux de notre chère patrie une terre de personnes debout, sans haine, ouverte et sans crainte. Aucune manœuvre d'intimidation. Ce parti n'appartient pas à Maurice Kamto. Maurice Kamto n'est pas le MRC n'est pas Maurice Kamto. Ce n'est pas sa chose dont il dispose comme bon lui semble. Tout mon soutien à Maître Tamfou Richard, on reste debout et on avance. Que quelqu'un puisse dire, en extrayant juste la partie qui commence par aucune exclusion et qui se termine par ce parti n'appartient pas à Maurice Kamto, que je suis en train d'accuser Maurice Kamto d'être derrière le saccage des boutiques à San-Mélima, quand on sait que les personnes dans les boutiques ont été saccagées, pour certaines sont militants du MRC, que c'est lui qui est derrière l'agression de Grâce Descartes à Londres. Ça peut pas être appelé autrement que mauvais foi. Maintenant, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, on peut rejeter ma candidature, mais en arriver à vouloir à tout prix dénoncer une attaque contre le parti qui n'existe pas, et je ne peux pas croire, quand je vois justement la manière dont mon message a été déformé, qu'on ne sait pas que cette volonté de détruire le parti n'existe pas. On voit bien que ce n'est pas du tout ce que je cherche. Ce que je cherche, c'est au contraire de renforcer le parti et de mettre un terme à une vague de démission qui ne fait que grossir. Ce que je cherche, c'est proposer une option qui ramènerait la confiance parmi les militants. Et comme je vous l'ai dit tout à l'heure, la majorité des militants le voient. Qu'une petite minorité de personnes,
ce sont des cadres quand même. C'est des cadres du parti.
On arrive à des extrémités comme déformer des propos et lancer une cabale. C'est regrettable. C'est exactement la raison pour laquelle je me suis engagée. Parce que c'est le comportement qui fait fuir. C'est cet extrémisme, ce refus de la politique honnête et loyale qui fait fuir les militants, de la base au sommet du parti. Et il faut que ça s'arrête.
Voilà, Maître Michel Doki, vous avez dit qu'il faudrait que ça s'arrête.
En politique, on a choisi la voie antagoniste malgré tous mes efforts. Je suis traduite effectivement devant le conseil de discipline, comme le secrétaire général du parti l'avait annoncé. La semaine prochaine, je suis invitée à présenter mes observations parce qu'il a déposé une plainte contre moi pour cette affaire, ce poste ridicule et ridiculement interprété. Mais quoi qu'il en soit, je continue d'espérer que on va revenir à la raison.
Vous avez une idée des sanctions? Vous avez une idée des sanctions auxquelles vous pouvez être exposé à l'issue de ce conseil des disciplines?
Alors, la dernière fois que j'ai vu ça, c'était avec mon collègue Alex Nyepi, et il n'a même pas eu le droit à une audition. Il a envoyé ses observations par écrit et on lui a répondu 2 jours après qu'il était radié du parti. Et puis, Maître Fabien Kenny, mon confrère, annonçait déjà avant même que je n'ai reçu la notification de la plainte qu'on allait porter plainte contre moi et que je serais exclu du parti.
Et s'il arrivait que vous soyez exclu du parti, ça fait tomber alors votre candidature.
Ah, ça c'est clair que c'est difficile d'être candidate à la présidence du parti si on est hors du parti. Si on n'en est pas, c'est clair. Mais comme je dis, cette tribune que vous m'offrez, c'est aussi un appel. Je pense que la vision qui a présidé à la création de ce parti est ce qui rassemble la majorité des militants. Il faut leur montrer que cette vision de créer une nation prospère, ouverte, inclusive, libre et harmonieuse est toujours la vision que les dirigeants du parti veulent porter. Et cela passe par l'apaisement. Je pense qu'il faut vraiment qu'à la direction du parti, on revienne revienne à l'apaisement. Je continue de militer pour ça. Nous ne sommes pas encore à la semaine prochaine. Je traverserai le pont le moment venu et nécessaire, comme on dit en anglais.
Voilà, maître, une dernière question avant de passer la parole à Didier, qui souhaiterait vous en poser une également. Quelle appréciation faites-vous de l'implication des femmes dans la politique? Elles ne s'y intéressent pas beaucoup, à votre avis, et qu'est-ce qu'il faudrait pour les amener à véritablement devenir une...
Do we actually know those of us Ambazonians who are bent to achieving the independence of the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia? Have we actually asked who is a true patriot, who has stood consistently even before the revolution could start in 2016? Those who were there before even the 90s or around the 90s. Do we really, and who are still very consistent, despite the persecution and the trouble that they've gone through, they withstand the state of time till today that I'm speaking. What I'm saying is, and who has followed the will of the people, is the comrade in arms. In his program, I think he said he was at the Liberty Square when SDF was launched and those 6 ambassadors were killed. He was in that position. When I know that this man with Albert Mokon, they worked together. He worked under Albert Mokon because at least he was a young man. Albert Mokon was a father. But he bought into the aspiration of the callings of Albert Mokon to free Ambazonians. He started then. Ladies and gentlemen, if I understand that this man wrote a book, still with Albert Mokon, critical of the government, and they came after he ran away from Cameroon then, ran to Nigeria State for 5 years as an asylee, before running to the United States. If I look at this young man who started the fight then, as a young man, until today, when he came to the United States, he continued to run a paper he used to call Cameroon Journal, still very critical of the Cameroon government and the ills of the society towards the common man. He ran that paper until the Ambazonian Revolution started in 2016, which I think he transformed it to Ambazonian Calling. Ambazonian, we used to call it, he changed it from Cameroon, what did I say it was what? Cameroon Journal to Ambazonian Journal. Well, then that some of us heard a voice that I could not miss everywhere when he came out to say something. This man started marrying this guy from then. What made him to appear in Nigeria during our conclave? He was present. Did somebody pay his flight? No, he paid his flight to Nigeria. When they went to Nigeria, the Bohebe, the Akwakanjan, the Yabas, refused to acknowledge what was called our interim government from when we created the governing council to interim government, and they want to create what they say act. He refused to join those people. The Mbakuro, the Magbareta, all of them, they left. But he decided to follow the will of the people and join the interim government then, until he still there till today. And we look at our interim government that is here today, consistent with our constitution. Only very few are still standing, and one of them is the man they call Comrade Chris. Do the Sarkozy and the Ochiba want to say that he has sold the revolution, still then wanted to hand Otolabri to Cameroon? Well, he started this fight long before the revolution started. And he has been consistent till today that I'm speaking. So if somebody was coming to tell you that this person has sold the revolution, and you look at the history of this young man, will you easily say yes or no if you look at what he is doing? Ladies and gentlemen, when he was serving as communication secretary under Sako, before then, ladies and gentlemen, before we left SCBC, it was the work of the young man. Made us, and he created ABC, amongst other with other, not him alone. Because I remember when he was crying that we can create our own TV. He has secured, or the government or something has secured, friends have given them equipment. We just needed to contribute money to start our own TV that going every time I'm begging from SCBC. That we knew then that was a private entity, not the government set up television as we thought. He created ABC in his house, running it from his house. ABC came up. I remember when he came crying that he must go to Nigeria when our leaders were abducted. He went to Nigeria in the midst of that to find out what happened to the leaders of Amazonia. In the midst of that heat, he braved it with a lion heart to go to Nigeria to find out what happened. He could only get what he could get. And when I look again back, the audit between Ayuk and Sako, my Tito boy, I also heard him shouting on TV every day that Amazonia need to know where their money is going to. Amazonia need to know where their money is going to. He forced it, or we forced it on. And the audit was carried out. Yet, Ayuk people stood strong that there should be no audit. That's why Ayuk people refused to go with the Tabingan and Kalimbongo and the countries refused to go for an audit. But the audit was carried out. And we knew then how much came up. To know what that money was used for will be a story for another day. Ladies and gentlemen, what do we expect for an Amazonia? When he came out to fight this, Sako was in silence. If I think back when at one time I hear Mark Barretta shouting that if they keep Pobia and Secretary Chris, then he will shoot Secretary Chris and let Pobia to go away or to go free. And what was the reason? That Chris was the person blocking Sako from accepting any form of us coming together. Little did Mark Barretta know and his friends know that Sako was the problem. And if he was shooting, Comrade Chris would have been dead and gone. But of course, innocently. We now can see the colors of Sako. The man has created ABS. And what we run there now is the Ambazonia Revolution. Until lately, we're beginning to say how they can pay those bills. He had paid it for almost 1 year going without asking from, or he could only appeal to some Ambazonia to help. But Ambazonia government was not. But that is in the process now, ladies and gentlemen, to help. When I look that this guy has gone beyond Ambazonia, gone out of the United States, gone out into the world to look for help for this revolution. I remember the failed agri-farmer that we wanted to bring. When I remember that he braved the very first day he was taking power, the very first 2-3 months, he braved it to Nigeria. That's how leaders work. Leaders work at war. I'm not sitting on an armchair in your house and saying, fighting. Brave it and show the bravery to your people. He was able to brave it to Nigeria. He was changed on a way within 4 hours. They ran out from Nigeria, but at least he met his people. It's a process he's gone through. When he left Cameroon, he was a refugee in Nigeria for almost 5 years. He's gone through all the stages of this. What do we want from this man? Is that how we hate somebody who has given all? And who shall we recognize? Oh, we shall recognize Sako. All of the bullets that were meant for Sako, they must carry all, defended all of those bullets. But now that he had left Sako, he's gone out there as a crusader for us coming together. As I listened to his message yesterday, writing a memo to others for us to come together. He has gone out to galvanize others and he has been fighting tooth and nail. But can somebody tell me how many times Sako has reached out for people to come for them to work together? And what he said is, every other person has sold the revolution except him alone. And he had resisted any means of us coming together. We're invited to a conference by the Friends of Barcelona to talk about suggestions. When the idea of referendum came up, he refused to go. We went out there to protect God Pobia, he refused to go. We talked any other thing else, he refused to listen. Kamal Baritana realized that the object was behind the mask. And that is Sako, who is resisting any attempt of us coming together. The latest I heard of another woman in Nigeria called Malay something, shouting, resisting that our refugees were about to come together to form a sort of an NGO or union so that they can speak as one person. This Sako descendant cried all about, say, Anu. Oh, Anu came to Nigeria and planted the seed of discord. Anu came to Nigeria and was asking people to send anybody that wanted to go Cameroon, to go back to Cameroon, to send his hand up. I don't know whether since then he has provided transfer for those people to go back home to do what, I don't know. But the woman should tell us whether he then finally gave the transport or conducted their name to send them back to Ground Zero. That was all he did, what she did. So when you see people coming up with framing of information, framing stories about others. I know this Sako and his people have bent that, and if I know doesn't go down, there will be a mistake for them. So they are bent to, because there's nothing they will say without Anu's name being mentioned. Whether a child went to the stream to carry water and the pot got broken, it was Anu that did it. And Maranta was in power, not even unknown. It was Comrade Chris's name every day. Even Sako, the Yaoundé, and all the rest, it was Anu. Now his name is all about is Anu. This man, this one as a superhuman being, I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to point out here is, do we really see how some people can give their all? If actually they were not born what they are, they would have given up. This man's compound has been built, get no house for Cameroon again. Let's say Ambazonia. The brother died fighting, is dead and gone. The compound was dead, the father died, everything is lost. Has he given up? He's still leading the revolution. But my call for Ambazonia people today, the recognition of the effort of our brothers and sisters. So if somebody want to compare this Anu, look at his track record from Ground Zero, when the revolution hadn't even started, from AAC 1 to the launching of the SDF, for the working with Abel Monkom, suffered as a refugee, left for the United States, continue with the Cameroon Journal, Ambazonia Journal, and now finally the leadership. This is somebody who you look back and say he's a solid person that can lead the revolution. But us as are bent to make sure the man must be brought down. When I listened to his speech yesterday, how much effort he's putting in. And one thing I must make Ambassador to know is this is the idea of coming together, make this man to part ways with Sako. When he wrote that famous memo asking Sako that they should bring others in, the revolution has been over-narrowed. They need to broaden the base, brought people in. And as straightforward as he speaks, In that right, we say, and if that does not happen, it does not see the future of the revolution, then the government should resign and let Ambazonian people come together and put a force that will rekindle the spirit of the 2018-1920. The tenor called him coup plotter. He want to overthrow Sarko's government. How dare you challenge your master? But what we said in the revolution is that no matter who sees something, say something. And some people seem to be saying that, oh, he was part of Sarko. But somebody part of Sarko and left Sarko because the going wasn't going. And we are in a deep shit today, wanting to bring people together because that he has foreseen that division and the difficulties of us trying to do something. He predicted it. And of course left Sarko's government. In anger when he said he cannot join that government until something is done. With the crossing of boundaries in that government. He wrote that memo to cabinet, gave us his own suggestions. Did the Sarko even call even one meeting to look into that memo? Not at all. When Aringwa left director of, it was a director of the resource mobilization, to challenge a sexual state that was running ABC, that ABC was falling. Say they cannot raise money until it comes through them. What did Sarko do? He ignored it and followed Aringwa. Did they do that? No. Handle it. Did they call even one cabinet meeting to discuss that? That never happened. And he said, if this is not handled, I cannot join that government because it's out of place. And that was what parted them ways with Sarko. They rebelled and left because of inefficiency and the manipulation in the government. He cried that we needed, we should one night with the Restoration Council, we need an audit during the stewardship of Sarko. And he was the first to go for an audit. When he cried for an audit with their yoke and Sarko, he was the first to go for audit because ABC was run as an entity. And when he cried during Sarko's government alone, he was the first to go for an audit. Did Sarko go? Till date, he did not. So what do we want from one person of the revolution? What? I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen, with facts. Not try to fix facts. If you go, what I say, go verify it. This man is running helter-skelter for how do we come together. He's written letter to all other leaders, please, let's come together. Forget you are not going to do away with their grouping. Let's just have a place where we can talk as Ambazonians with common grounds. Nobody is listening. One person. But I'm very convinced, according to that speech, those who stand for a referendum, they're working, they're bringing others in. A leader that listens to the people. He came to power through the legal means of coming to power. An election was conducted with the Restoration Council at the forehead, creating an electoral committee that came up with electoral modalities to run for an election. Anybody that refuses to accept or to respect the fundamental laws of the land, our constitution was promulgated into law by former President Sarko, only to turn around and disregard that constitution. Even the executive orders that he signed, he turned around and disrespected all those executive orders. So what Ambazonia are we looking for? I brought this little bit of synopsis for you for no say. If we cannot recognize a man that has done this much for the revolution, but then we must know that nobody is a saint. You can misspeak, you can be hard, you can be sometime, but look at the picture, the general picture, the contribution of an individual before, during, and during this revolution. That those who were the pillars of the right from our conclaves. army not are still as strong as this man they call Comrade Chris. Oh, the Sarko says, oh, he has really sold the revolution. He's not taking Otogumagi to Larbi to Cameroon. What a mess. Ladies and gentlemen, let's respect our institutions. Let's respect, we build strong institutions and not strong individuals. Let's follow the law. Some of us, lady man here, have always sided with the person that stands for our constitution. And what does our constitution say? That's what I go by. Maranta came in because of our constitution. Let's say Sako came in, Maranta came in, Tita came in, and we had broadened, our democracy was advancing. We were able to conduct an election. All our RGAs were involved. Our counties, our region were involved. And who won? By the will of the people, Comrade Chris won. He's sitting there by the will of the Ambazonia people, whether you like it or not, by the will of the Ambazonia people. He doesn't go down to be proud that I did this, I did this. Action that taken, does he come one day to say, oh, this is done by me or by me, by me? No. It's Ambazonia's action. I plead on us to recognize somebody when he does something. Put those things holistically. The general picture. Say, what has this man been able to do here? Since when did he start? And he's still strong and running till today. He has grown through the process of fighting for the common justice until today. He's fighting for the downtrodden Ambazonian, being discriminated upon by Larbi to Cameroon, and next by Larbi to Cameroon. And again, am I saying that Comrade Chris is a saint? No. It's human like myself. But what I look for is somebody following the fundamental laws of the land.
Uncle B,
we all have our mistakes.
Uncle B, thank you.
Nobody is perfect. He has his own mistakes.
Uncle B,
but what is the effort put in for the general good of the people is what I look for.
Very wonderful excerpt.
May God bless us.
Thank you, Uncle B.
Vous écoutez Radio Equinox, la chaîne du peuple. La chaîne du peuple.
Bonjour. Il serait à nouveau suicidaire pour l'opposition d'aller à la prochaine élection présidentielle sans une refonte préalable du code électoral. Dans notre analyse imaginée du match canon, le R.
Vous écoutez.
Thank you, listeners. We have listened about all the activities, all the wonderful legacy of Fru Ndi. We have also listened from Uncle B about the wonderful work that the president of the IG has been doing, President Chris Ano. We thank you for listening. We're going to be bringing more about Fru Ndi's legacy and much more about the struggle. Thank you for listening and stay blessed. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more and more and more to come. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.